Hello all, we are back in the Sage Fan Games Expo. We are going to be jumping into a few Sonic themed fan games. The first one up is Sonic AM2 Amy Rose Edition. I was excited for this game because the AM2 fan game that appeared at a previous Sage was great. This one, however, was much different. I'm not sure if it's the same engine or even the same author that made this game, but this one, in my opinion, was just rough. It had tinky controls, lack of controller support, and just an odd choice for combat and movement mechanics. Amy cannot spin jump, so she cannot damage the enemies by just jumping at them. She has to attack them with her Pico Hammer, and you do that by holding down the control key and then letting it go when an enemy is near, and it just really felt really bad. It felt just so odd. And it was just really frustrating to deal with. So long story short, these controls and button layouts were just so bad that I cut this game off pretty quickly. Sonic and the Fallen Star is a 2D Sonic style fan game that gives me some Sonic Before the Sequel vibes. This game is animated so freaking well, the inputs are really responsive, and there's even special stages that are very well done. I played about 2 to 3 zones and 3 special stages, and I was just entertained from the beginning to the end. I'm not exactly sure how big this game is, but it is a very good entry that I'd love to see return in the future. This is one of the best entries that I've played so far at this expo, and if I have time in the future, I would definitely like to go and play this demo to the end. Next is Sonic Celerity, a very early Sonic fan game. This is just like a test stage with some objects to interact with. The first thing that bothered me was the choice of controls. You can spin with the left click, but in order to jump you have to use the space bar. Meanwhile, the right click is doing absolutely nothing. So I just felt like that made things a little bit more uncomfortable as you have to move with the WASD keys. It should have just been spin with the left click or jump with the left click, and then, you know, just whatever's not spin or jump should just be right click, you know, this way I don't have to press the space bar. That's just me personally. This game is just very early to the point where there just isn't much to cover, you know. There's a few nodes to go through and triggers. For example, like there was one trigger you could run through and it'll switch the camera and lock to like a 2D angle, and there was like, you know, some dash pads that'll make you run through some loops. I couldn't even run through a single loop in this game, however. It just controlled so weird. Like I felt like the only way to have a chance to run through the loop was to use the dash pad, and even then, like I would just kind of like slip out or whatever. Like I said, it's just very early in development. So the next one is called Sonic Colors Demastered. This is one of those 2D Sonic fan games that uses the advanced sprites, and I have no idea how long this demo is, as I only played through the Tropical Resort. But you move with the WASD keys and stomp with the I key. That's all I remember for the most part. I think like the spacebar was the jump. Um, I'm not the biggest fan of these advanced sprites in fan games, but I thought the level design in this game was actually okay. More specifically because I didn't even have to use the boost, and I felt like the pace of this game was still great. So I was using a keyboard in this one, so I'm actually going to suck, but that's just me. So, still in the realm of Sonic Colors, the next game is called Sonic Colors VN, which is a different take on the Sonic Colors game. When Sonic and Tails went to the Tropical Resort, I'm pretty sure they played some of those arcade games and enjoyed some of those rides before actually going up to the top to fight Eggman himself. So this game is basically that. There's a few mini games that you can play, like some Puyo looking game, a whack-a-mole game, and some other game where you have to like run really fast and like dodge cars. So I was actually bad at the Puyo game, but the whack-a-mole game I was okay. And the running mini game where you have to dodge the cars, I was actually really good at that one. I was running at like the max speed and just not getting hit, and I just stopped once I had enough. So, out of all these games, I think they were mostly just meh. But I think that the Sonic the Fallen Star is a must-play game from this session. Like, if you like Sonic, then try it out. It's just animated so freaking well, and I really like the special stages in that game. So that's going to do it for me. I'm going to put the link in the description so you can try these games out yourself. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you guys next time.